Alright, so I'm gonna drop the ball here, and then you just give it to him, yeah? You said give it to him. I didn't mean like that. Why would I have meant like that? Yo guys, it's your boy, rapidly spiraling into a significantly concerning set of circumstances, Trim Niren here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. Now don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of things going on in the world this week and that, but more importantly, 4 dons with a bloodstream of 109% protein went viral. They look like they're on an away trip to Topman. I am going from Shagaloof to Liverpool on an undisclosed fee. Am I right, boys? I mean, you're not, because the borders are closed, so you're actually not able to do. It seems like they've been getting about a bit this week as well, just turning up at random footballing events. And I can assure you I spent more time invested in them than I wish I'd invested into Manchester United versus Liverpool this week. The scene was set. Sky Sports were ready and waiting for a titanic clash. Jamie Carragher was primed and ready as well.
I would just stop it there and we go in a little bit closer.
Former sleeping giants of the English game were about to go against each other in a battle of the ages.
You're joking. Not another one?
We as fans need to have a serious discussion with the Premier League at the moment. Every single high build game with big clubs involved is finishing 0-0 at the moment. Why are we even shocked? There's been about 4.5 goals in total in this fixture since 2010. It shouldn't come as a shock to you, but Manchester United versus Liverpool ended in a goalless draw and the points being shared. The most entertaining thing about this game was Marcus Rashford forgetting the offside rule existed. Anthony, mate, play me in. It was something ridiculous, like 12 or like 7 in the first half alone. I mean, like rice gum at a Sidemen charity match. The only explanation is there must have been a hungry kid in the opposition area who was in desperate need of a Capri Sun, because I don't know why else he was there so frequently. Thiago looked quality in the centre midfield, doing basically absolutely everything. Is that a 3-yard pass from Thiago? Oh my God. I think I'm gonna. Meanwhile, it wasn't quite as fruitful an afternoon for Bruno Fernandes, who despite having looked phenomenal this season, went missing in this game. And he wasn't too happy about being substituted late on either. One more dodgy penalty, that's all I need, please. But despite that, Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had the better chances in the game.
Are we the PE teachers?
Though the fact we don't have any centre-backs is probably not helping the situation. UKIP announced Katie Hopkins this week, and they've made more signings in this January transfer window than we have. Despite a difficult run of form for ourselves, it's now I think 7 halves of Premier League football without scoring a goal. At least we're not Chelsea, who after a promising win over Fulham in the league, slumped to a 2-0 defeat against Leicester just a few days later. I don't know what comes after critical red alert fraud watch, but it's currently occurring. Look, don't get me wrong, crippling defeats aren't great, but Mason Mount's been training really well at the moment. No offense to Mason's parents, neither of you are watching. You're clearly... No offense to Mason Mount's parents, but I think he might actually be related to Frank Lampard. Frank? You're the father. Fucking get in there. Frank Lampard's been getting a decent amount of stick and criticism for the performance of the players recently, but quite frankly, they're not helping themselves. This is a POV perspective of the ball looking back at Timo Werner whilst trying to use it. I'm pretty sure Ben Chilwell swapped back to being a Leicester player halfway through the game. Maybe he's just having difficulties communicating with his French-speaking back line. Bonjour, oui, baguette. Ben, we speak English. I think what you mean to say is yes, speak English. No, not we as in the French we, I mean as in we speak. Meanwhile, Christian Pulisic's too busy with GQ shoots over in America. Why is he dressed like a motorbike rider who's about to tell me to go back to my own country? No wonder he's not scoring or getting assists at the moment. He's distracted by a nice looking Harley Davidson out in the car park. Listen, it's still January, okay? Frank, you've got an opportunity opportunity to go and beg to Roman Abramovich for another £300 million. In fairness though to Leicester City, we're not giving them enough credit, okay? They're actually the real deal. They may not have enough over the course of the season to win a league, but they definitely do have enough to get in the Champions League on merit. There's some ballers in this team at the moment, James Maddison being one. For some reason, Leicester ended up providing us a mini version of him. I'm not complaining. And at the time, that win took them top of the table. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna finish in the Champions League. Elsewhere, and there was the pretty substantial news, the all-time leading English goalscorer, Wayne Rooney, has officially announced his retirement from football. Let's take a look back at some of his best moments. In all seriousness though, mad career. I know he had some struggles in the 2012-13 times with fitness and stuff, but that original Manchester United squad with himself, Ronaldo and Tevez in was unplayable, and so was he at times in his career. He's now going to focus on his management of the Derby squad, and I can't see it going wrong, personally. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with you tactically there, but I'll put you asleep within 10 seconds, you little girl. Don't say stuff and don't follow up on. Over at the Emirates, and Arsenal defeated Newcastle United 3-0 in the week, thanks to a brace from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but that simply isn't gonna hide his miss from beforehand. The bigger news though at Arsenal this week is that Mesut Ozil has had his contract terminated, and he's on the verge of signing for Turkish side Fenerbahce. This is yet another big Arsenal player leaving for free. And I know it's not players at their prime, but this is Santi Cazorla, Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil now. Poundland are taking more profit than you lot on sales at the moment. Someone phone up Oxfam and let them know they've got competition, because these lot are doing phenomenal charity work. I just find it mad. They've been paying this guy's broadband bill for the last 2 years to stream Fortnite and put out cryptic tweets about them. Apparently, he was getting linked to Tottenham. Jose Mourinho had a very clear statement on the matter.
What did you make of Mesut Ozil saying he would rather retire than sign for Tottenham?
Who told him that Tottenham is interested in signing him?
Unbelievable. There's players
Mikhail, please. These guys have a family to feed. He's got children that are meant to be looking up to him. How can he face them now? He may or may not have children. I don't know this as fact. It's fair to say Mikel Antonio has been on the weights. And speaking of which, I think Fernando Torres may have been as well. Or steroids for that matter. I mean, big ups himself. Literally, he is much bigger than he was before. But he looks like he's about to try and sell me a cheap deal in Carphone Warehouse. He fit right in with those Birmingham Dons, to be fair. Get him at a football match as well. Meanwhile, over at the Etihad, and Manchester City rather controversially beat Aston Villa 2-0 thanks to a seemingly offside goal. Now, apparently, because of the touch that Tyrone Mings has on the ball here, the fact that the attacker from Manchester City had a starting point of Warrington is kind of reset, which is fair, as if they're playing to that rule, then that's calm. But I think that is a stupid rule. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You could just camp a striker 12 yards offside every time if you're gonna do that. Regardless, Aston Villa did well to hold on. They've not played in 3 weeks. They've disappeared as if they've been at the African Cup of Nations. Over in Spain, and Barcelona bottled the Copa de España final, losing 3-2 to Athletic Bilbao. Lionel Messi was actually red carded late on in this one for a hit out at a Bilbao midfielder. This guy just wants some time off, man. There's only so much stress you can be put through in the workplace before you're entitled to financial compensation. He's just trying to protect the hairline, okay? They've just had a president who's got less footballing qualifications than a meal deal and has left the squad with an average age of 48. He deserves to take a break. Former Barcelona legend Xavi is managing over in Qatar at the moment, and one fan seemed to get the exclusive scoop on its next destination.
Xavi, are you going to Barcelona? Yes, Barcelona. Are you coaching Barcelona? No. Let's go, Xavi!
The way this guy had to speed out of this situation is incredible. Fortnite announced they'd signed a partnership with several high-ranking football clubs from around the world. And Wolverhampton Wanderers this week. Turns out they've got licensing to Juventus and FIFA don't. Inter have announced that they'll be changing their name shortly, as well as their club crest. They're changing it from the original Internazionale that they used to have, which is going to make this guy's job a hell of a lot easier.
International!
Maybe that's why Arturo Vidal kissed the Juventus badge instead this week. He doesn't like the Inter one. I'm sorry, if I was an Inter fan, I would be slapping his spiky hair off his noggin. Snakes don't hiss. They signed for Inter Milan after playing for Juventus, then hug a Juventus defender and kiss the badge of said Juventus defender. That seems like a quite complex set of circumstances for a snake, actually. A video emerged this week of Heung Min Son chatting with his brother about his footballing career. He brought up the fact that he played in a Champions League final, to which his brother's response was absolutely glorious. Over in the German Cup, and Bayern Munich were knocked out by second division side Holstein Kiel after the underdogs scored a 95th minute equaliser to take it to a penalty shootout, where they then won the shootout in dramatic circumstances during sudden death. Maybe if Bayern still had Thiago to play those 3-yard passes. Oh my god. What a story though. This is a seemingly undefeatable side knocked out by second division minnows. You know, it means a lot to them when whilst they're celebrating, one Don is so mental that he's basically ripping everyone else's clothes off. Pause. Continuing with the German theme, and Borussia Mönchengladbach forward Braille Mbolo was seen escaping out of one of his windows trying to avoid the police because he held a 23-person party during Corona lockdown. You get drawn against Kyle Walker once in the Champions League and this happens. We've got a mad story now over in Spain where forward David Barral has become the first player to ever be signed by a team using only cryptocurrency. So no actual, like, normal money was exchanged. All done, fam. Forex traders are punching the air right now. Nobody tell Ed Woodward he'll try and sign Jadon Sancho with FIFA points. Spurs left back Danny Rose has been linked with a move away to West Brom. Not quite the dizzying heights of what he expected in the Spurs documentary. And talking about being high, well, David Neres, Ajax winger, was asked on social media by Hakim Ziyech whether he's been indulging in Amsterdam given the face he was pulling in his Instagram photo, to which David said not that much. That's not what you were meant to say, fam. Meanwhile, down in League 2 and over at Newport County, we've got some unbelievable scenes straight from a goal kick.
A huge bounce, wind assisted this, and it caught out poor Josh Griffiths, the young 19-year-old who's here on loan from West Bromwich Albion. It was a massive bounce.
Now, there's the news this week that Pele is getting his own Netflix documentary. We can actually see the final version of the trailer right here.
Now we know why they call this man the king.
Basically, it all started when I scored my 3,000th goal past my granddaughter in our back garden. Meanwhile, sticking with the Legends theme, back in his native Brazil.
Os câmeras também estão bem preparados, né? Porque aguentar o tranco do Júnior Alonso, ele tava de olho na bola, ó. Rapaz, ó.
But now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Over in Romania, and it's just typical Romanian shenanigans, as current Dinamo Bucharest striker and former Everton striker Magai Gay was filmed in a jacuzzi with two half-naked women saying fuck Dinamo Bucharest because he's getting a bad time from the fans after a pretty barren spell in front of goal, and he's getting calls from the fans to be deported. Is that even how this works? Over in the Netherlands, and Emmen, who are currently bottom of the Eredivisie, received help from their fans in conceding less goals as they managed to break into the stadium, get onto the pitch and completely cover up the face of the goals with masking tape ahead of their fixture against Vitesse Arnhem. There's the incredible story involving Lucas Piathon, former Chelsea winger, who'd spent almost 10 years at the club but had spent most of them out on loan to various clubs. He was 6 months away from getting a testimonial, having only ever played for them 3 times. Over in Saudi Arabia, and we've got a firm contender for a Pushkas Award. Over in Turkey, and maybe Sivasspor shouldn't have chosen white to play in given the conditions. Meanwhile, our next clip showcases an unbelievable turn of pace to beat a defender. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And I'm so proud this week because we have a clip which literally sums up Sunday League football and sums up Sunday League scrambles. Take it away. On to the weird stuff though now. And channel favourites Leamington FC travelled to Kettering Town. Now all was well and good for the away side, going 3-0 up inside half an hour. That cause was helped massively when the opposition's captain was sent off inside 10 minutes for a verbals with the referee. The weird point of this game, however, comes at half time, where the floodlights completely failed. Now usually after a certain period the game would just get abandoned and replayed at a different time. In this situation though, the referee, I didn't have places to be. He was happy to stick around at all times. 2 hours later and at 10:30 at night, the game restarts. The Kettering Town players lose their heads. They get 2 more red cards and finish the game with 8 men. Over in Croatia, and Slaven Belupo manager Tomislav Stipic made his side play in a friendly with earplugs in an attempt to make them more aware for where their teammates were without having to hear them. They lost the game 4-2. Over in an international game involving Mongolia, they are not letting adverse conditions get in their way. Down in the second division of Brazil, and a footballer had to be hooked at half time because a positive corona test came back in for him whilst he was sitting in his changing room from before the game had actually started. And finally, on some positive news, Patrick Bamford. I'd like to say a shout out to the lead striker for donating a significant amount of money to a school that was struggling to fund technology for its students. He managed to pay for iPads and tech that the school needed. I thought it was a lovely touch in the middle of a pandemic, so shouts to him. That was going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.